I mean, this is the round that's going to start if we go to a set 5, or if Humble will try and hold on for this 3-1. This max speed needs to do so much, and he's really not going to be able to do much with it. Semantic going to have to walk over about 10 tick mines to try and get an attack going, but fall so low in the process. Hypercharge being kept then for the Nanny for a later date as he just uses this peep as it circles around and actually opens up the wall a bit more for Humble.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to peep a Max, right? Max very, very quick on her feet, able to dodge away from that, but that is where, Moya's been sending that super most of the time. Luki's been able to dodge it on both occasions, but where is the map control for Humble? Where is the game plan? Milcrea's got a hypercharge super. Tensai as well with an empowered head first is going to be very hard to beat. And so Crazy Raccoon are biding their time. There is no rush here for the East Asian squad.
And there doesn't have to be. Triple hypercharge is ready to roll for their side. And Humble have just been standing watching for almost the entirety of it. Hypercharge super comes in now. Luki's going to have to dash through that, but get pinned in spawn in the meantime, which means Tensai should get some shots. Boss hit by the hypercharge peep up in the left-hand corner. Semantic trying to go aggressive, finds one connection, but Luki bounced back into another shot. And Semantic, the only remaining player of Humble, gets taken down. And we're going to a set 5.
And Trav, that was not remotely close. Crazy Raccoon from start to finish on that set were the dominant team. And now, yeah, absolutely, you're starting to feel that energy. Whereas on the Humble side of the stage, looks like the air has been sucked out of the room. It's kind of tough to play at a full set of Brawl Stars when you feel like you've been beaten in the draft phase. Kind of have to walk with your head down straight back into the game after getting clapped round after round. A pretty disgraceful scoreline, I think, for Humble. Not one elimination to them, but crucially, at no point do they put any pressure on Crazy Raccoon.
It's looking bleak at the moment, it really is. Their heads are down and Crazy Raccoon's heads are as high as they've been. Real tough. 0 kills across this entire set is not the way you want to go into the deciding one. And Milcreo absolutely flying high right now, in a really good position to try and close this one out, reverse sweep the world champions and get their revenge from last year.
So if I had to ask you what the plan was for this Humble competition.
I was about to ask you the same thing.
No, I beat you to it, bro. Answer the question, Trav.
I mean, obviously it was revolving around the Max, being able to just tank some shots, dash up, but every time he had speed, no use was made out of it. They couldn't move because there was about 10 tick mines in front of Semantic when he tries to provide it. And if he goes forwards there, he dies, and Luki's hung out to dry.
You're playing RT, right? So there's almost like a late game plan, at least in the back pocket for you, where RT's quite powerful, but in what we call the neutral, right? Before the map gets broken up, before the gas closes in, RT has good range, right? Has a gadget that can help secure eliminations if required, but he doesn't do a whole lot against Nani and Byron. It certainly feels like Crazy Raccoon had comp from the outset. And that is definitely a subversion of the narrative that we've really peddled about these East Asian teams, not just this year, but honestly for the last couple of years. That's been a big step up for a Crazy Raccoon that had to fight tooth and nail to even get here. Had to fight through a brutal LCQ, had to reverse sweep Casa Brawl in front of a Brazilian crowd. I don't know anybody who's going to be excited about that prospect. And now they've given themselves the chance to steal the series away from your reigning world champions.
I mean, this is the thing as well. How many times have Humble been in this position where they're at an event and it's this close? They're usually walking over teams, only dropping a set here and there.
They said, I sat down with them and they said, we need to figure out what it's like to play from behind. Because at Worlds last year, we never had to do this. We always had momentum and it felt like we were fated to win. Now, we get to see a little bit more of what Humble can do when they're up against the wall.
Yeah, pressure's on and the bans are here. Juju Draco and the Hank coming in from Humble. Over the other side, Hank going to be double banned out along with the Meeple and the Mina from their side. So Humble with the first pick, not able to get any of the ones that I'm sure they will have wanted. But it's obviously such a control-based game mode. I honestly don't know who's going to win it. You'd expect Humble to be doing pretty well on a game mode like this, but Crazy Raccoon have all the momentum on their side. Finks coming in as the first, and I really like that.
Feels like a pretty iconic brawler for this team. Humble have always looked to pick up the Finks on these hot zone matches when possible. Open business, of course, is pretty challenging because the side lanes can be used pretty easily by any of those longer range brawlers. And there's also, we've seen, compositions drafted just to break this map open entirely. We've seen like Nita, for example, to push ahead aggressively, Frank just to blow the walls up. A lot of Byron mixed in here and there. Good to see that the Draco banned out here. Both teams have made extensive use of that brawler in scrims. But the Ruffs turns up yet again. Such an important centerpiece and also a brawler that doesn't telegraph your comp intention whatsoever.
Well, it's funny you mentioned, I was literally about to say, this is the place where the iconic Frank Berry came ripped out and did such a good job. Lukey on that brawler is absolutely ridiculous, and this comp with this team is a force to be reckoned with. So we'll see if that's the kind of route they do tend to lean. But the Crow was picked up by Crazy Raccoon on the other side as well to play a bit more of that range along the way. So if the map gets broken up, and I'm sure it will by the Ruffs, the Crow should have a pretty decent time.
Now, Juju's banned here. We've often seen Finks combined with that. You go Larry and Laurie as a thrower option. It's less common to see on this map, but actually has a really high win rate on open business when it's been picked up. It's going to be the Frank, though, that's taken instead. So you've got this wall break, and you've got this inherent sustain, plus speed boosts for the Frank being supplied by the Jaeyong. So really well-rounded composition for Humble, but doesn't necessarily have these huge moments of burst damage here. They're really going to be sticking to their fundamentals with this setup.
Yeah, well, clearly things have pivoted, as I mentioned just before, as the Berry Frank that I was expecting, but a different healer support brawler is going to be rolling on in then with that, and the Jaeyong. Lumi rounds out the Crazy Raccoon roster. I like that. The Hypercharge can cover so much ground, lock people in place, and deal some nice damage. So Crazy Raccoon, solid composition. If they can get this map broken up, Humble going to be trying their hardest to not feed that Ruffs.
Yeah, for Humble, it's very much about staying alive for as long as possible, just accruing that capture percentage. Once the Finks can put a super field down, you can dodge away from a lot of those projectiles. I do think the Frank has to be careful of Lumi Gadget. That Grim and Frostbitten is a real problem for those slower brawlers, or the ones who want to close the gap. This game, folks, is anyone's. It comes down to a fifth set decider between your world champions Humble in a world championship rematch. Your 2024 Grand Finals looks a lot more interesting here in 2025.
Yeah, a little bit of Frostbite on the right-hand side there, and Semantic slipping and sliding, now caught in a bit of a tough situation, but Humble have control of the middle, and Boss doing a good job of keeping Milcreo back and not feeding him. There's the Weekend Warrior dealing some good damage as well, and back to heals we go as Lukey is going to require them.
Pretty easy to underestimate the burst damage that Jaeyong has access to with that Weekend Warrior gadget. The activation causes an AoE field of damage, and then your shot is empowered. Definitely something that's pretty scary. The problem for Crazy Raccoon is that they not spend much time on the point here. Boss, oh, that is dirty stuff. Another fantastic gadget activation. Able to win it out there against the Crow. And Milcreo is too low to contest. Lukey, so hard to shift, and Semantic has been dancing this entire round. He and Tensai are basically playing their own side game of Brawl Stars.
And Semantic's not going to mind that at all. He's in a position where he's just chilling in the right-hand side, and his teammates are doing well. So why change it? And I'm surprised Tensai hasn't moved out the way. Tried to get Milcreo over there. Deal some damage. Get your super. We'll break the map. Because nothing's changing at the moment, and Boss is still holding his own on the left. Might need some heals here for Lukey as well, but he's surviving and living on.
Semantic being able to tie up the Lumi is massive here. Tensai would much rather be throwing these Morning Stars at the point itself, but they have to respect what Frank can do. It was a Hypercharge super there thrown down by the Ruffs, or at least the supply drop super to empower Moya or Tensai. But Boss has just been dipping a toe onto the point here and there, being really hard to shift. Lukey, much the same. Eventually the Jaeyong goes down, but Humble have enough of a buffer here to take their time, and Semantic has finally built a super.
I mean, how many supers is he going to throw on Semantic, and he's still stood there? I don't know if he's even doing anything at all, but he's there. He's being annoying, and Boss back on the zone now, has a Hypercharge as well. Lukey trying to move up. Here's the Hypercharge, and this might be the point where they lunge in, but just waiting, keeping control, and why not? Because Crazy Raccoon are doing nothing about it.
This is how Hot Zone is supposed to be played. Humble are issuing a challenge to Crazy Raccoon. Come and challenge us. Force us off the point. Take some risks in order to get back into the game. Boss here has to deal with the gadget now. Milcreo has that Hypercharge ready to go. Map's getting broken up as Lukey wants to step forward. Semantic finally falls here. Humble's starting to lose control of this game bit by bit now. It's Crazy Raccoon who are looking to get themselves into the lead. Semantic needs a Hyper Super but might not have a chance to build before the round is done. He'll open up the map instead, and now Humble have one last chance to take control. But Lukey's flattened instantly. Crazy Raccoon looking for another challenger. Eventually run over the top of Humble.
I mean, somehow it looked all Humble. Eventually, Semantic made the move and everything crumbled from there. Frank gets decimated, he gets supers, he gets power-ups, his teammates stay alive, and they play that long game so perfectly well. Crazy Raccoon just one off reverse sweeping the world champs.
Back we go, folks. Jaeyong and Finks here in the mid. This time, Semantic is opting to play a different side of the map. Has to contend with the Grim and Frostbitten Gadget.